My name is Caroline and I am your host. Welcome if you're new, or welcome back as I just said if you've been following this. So I live in the South Island of New Zealand in Otepoti, Dunedin, and I have a small little business of hand-dyed yarn where I bring monthly yarn to my shop online, and I bring some to a local shop as well. And yeah, so every month I film a new podcast episode called Flash the Yarn, in which I show you everything that I'm bringing up this month. So my shop update today is Thursday, I'm pretty sure, Thursday, the end of the month date, and then my update is this Sunday at 2 p.m, which I think is actually the 31st, so the last day of January. Yeah, so I hope everyone is well. I hope you had a great holiday and a great break. I'm sure everyone is back to work yet. Not me, not just yet. I've been working full-time doing the yarn for the past few months because my contract with the university where I work part-time ended, but it starts again pretty much at the mid-end February, so I have a few weeks left of bliss before I can go back to work. Not looking forward to it, but yeah, until then anyways, I'm gonna keep dyeing yarn and having fun and knit and bring you some videos. So I will probably talk a little bit more about what happened to me during the holidays and the break and everything in my next video, which I'm hoping I'm gonna release next week, and this will be my actual podcast knitting podcast video, in which I sit down, I show you what I'm working on and what I finished, and I just talk a little bit more about updates and daily life and stuff in that one. But in here, I don't really want to lose too much time, and I just want to focus on the yarn that's coming. So my shop is Yeah Yeah Yarn. You can find me online at yeayarn.com. You can email me at yeayarn@gmail.com. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram, and I am the most active on Instagram. I am also on Ravelry. I really don't use it, to be honest, except for buying patterns. Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram. This is where I'm the most active. This is where you should follow my grid and my story, which is where I update the most about what's happening, if I've got any delays, if I've got any information about shipping, all of that. So I really advise that you follow me here if you can. Otherwise you can just watch these monthly episodes to have an idea of what's coming, and you can also subscribe to the newsletter on my online shop if you'd rather receive an email about it. Okay, let's go forward and let's move on to the yarn this month. So I think I have 5 different yarn bays that I'm bringing this month. I have my Bliss Wild base, which is 100% Merino superwash full ply. It is produced in Aotearoa by Wild Earth Yarn, which is a great little company, and it often sells out really quickly, so I'm quite lucky to have some this month. And I also have the DK version 8 ply of this, which I call on my website Wild DK. So Bliss Wild and Wild DK 100% Merino superwash 4 ply and 8 ply. And then I have overseas yarn. I've got 3 different bays. One of them is a single ply that I call Smitten Linen. It's 90% superwash merino single ply and 10% linen. It's beautiful. It's got a beautiful textured drape, and that little bit of linen really that resists the dye just really gives it texture. It's beautiful. I love it. And I've got a sock base, which is my sparkle sock base. So it's 80% superwash merino in a 2 ply form, but it's fingering weight. And it's got 15% nylon and 5% silver stellina. It's actually, I think, my favorite base today, and it is also my softest base, which is quite random because you'd expect the 100% merino to be the softest. I find it to be the softest one, and actually just all-time favorite personally. I highly recommend that base. I mean, they're all great, otherwise I wouldn't use them, but I've got a big crush on that one at the moment anyways. And finally, I've got a very kind of luxurious 8 ply base, which is actually, I say 8 ply, it's a DK, like it's a double knit, but it's only 2 ply formation, and it is 50% baby alpaca, 25% silk and 25% linen, and it's organic non-superwash. It is beautiful. I have had it in my last update as well. It's really gorgeous. I tend to dye this one more in solid colors because of the yarn content and the fact that it's not superwash. It's not really great for all my speckled colorway, but it is so gorgeous and still grabs the dye beautifully, as you will be able to see here. Okay, so let's go forward and start. So the first colorway I'm bringing this month is a colorway that I had launched last month, and that was really successful, and that is my personal favorite as well, and it is called Reef. It sold out really quickly last month. As a general rule, I only bring kind of small batches. I'd like to put a disclaimer about that. I am a one-woman person business, and I do have life stuff on the side, and I don't have unlimited funds to buy a lot of yarn. So at this point, I'm kind of able to bring between 4 to 6 generally of the same color in one base, if that makes sense. And sometimes when I know there's a lot of hype, I will either bring it back the next month, or I will dye more in advance if I know it's going to be popular or this kind of stuff. So it means that generally when my update goes live at 2 p.m, it sells out pretty fast. Not everything sells out straight away, and like even if you went right now on the website, you'd still probably be able to find a couple of things, but I'd say 85% of the stock sells out within half an hour, which I'm super grateful and very lucky to have happen, and thank you so much for your support. But yeah, I'm just saying that because if you have your eye on anything that you're going to see, I would really advise that you put a reminder and you are on this website at 2 p.m. on the day, because I at the moment I was going to say I don't really do pre-order, but I'll talk a little bit more about that a bit later. As a general rule, I do not do pre-orders anymore. I am actually taking a little bit of pre-orders right now, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But it's very unusual. It's before I go back to work, and it's because I got a little bit more time on my hand. Apart from that, I really don't have time to keep up with the demand, the shop in town, and my online shop to then do pre-order on the side. So I really advise, yeah, pretty much that you're just on the website at that time, because yeah, if it sells out, you have to wait at the next month or whenever I bring that color back afterwards. Okay, all the spiel is done. So let's start with Reef. As I was saying, I am going to show it to you first on Bliss Wild, which is the 100% Merino Superwash 4-ply. So here is Bliss. Oh, sorry, Bliss. Yeah, it is Bliss Wild, and here is Reef. I absolutely really adore this color. It is one of my favorite, which is why I have no problem bringing it back. As you can see, it is composed with peachy kind of apricot-y color that has bright like warm bloody red kind of like splatter onto it, kind of like corals, and then you have a very ocean blue, like bright blue sky ocean blue. You've got some little red speckles, and you've got little like mauve speckles, and pretty much just like a cocktail of dark green and then dark sea blue there as well. Absolutely adore this one. I just love how the cocktail of color explodes. And I haven't knitted with it yet, so I don't have a swatch for it yet, but I'd love to make one very soon to be able to show you how it knits up. I have a few of my colorways that are kind of dyed in the same way. I've got different dye technique, but this one, peyote, SJW, which I'm also bringing this month, and a few like that have the same kind of color. Sorry, the same kind of method of dyeing, which I'll show you is kind of like split down the middle. So as you can see here, you've got those blue and those darker on one end, and then you have those peachy apricots in the center. So as you can imagine, it will dye in stripes. So what you can do if you don't like pooling, because it definitely is prone to do this kind of stuff due to how it's dyed, you can just get a couple of skeins and knit 2 skeins at a time, and that will prevent pulling. However, it is kind of dyed for this purpose of having this happening, so just to keep in mind that there probably is going to be a little bit of pulling and stuff. As you can see here, it's hard to capture always, but you can see probably a bit more like this. There's also bright corals in there because it's Reef and it has corals and all pretty colors. So yeah, this is it on Bliss Wild, and I have it here on Wild Decay, so the Merino 8 ply. So yeah, very similar color over here. And just look at these really deep rich blue here that I've been layered with kind of, yeah, I'm using a lot of like different technique to get to that, but this is not the reason I don't have a lot of yarn coming every month, and it's because I do spend a lot of time on some batches of color. Some colorway will die really quickly, but colorways like this one take me 3-4 layers of draining water, changing water. I reuse everything, by the way, so I don't waste a lot of water or anything like that. But what I'm saying is it takes a lot of different practice to get to that. Look how it's perfectly centered in the middle. Fun. Okay, so both of them there. Now here it is. Okay, I'm gonna try and refrain to say here it is, because I've watched my vlog and every time I'm showing something I'm like, here it is on, here it is on. I don't even know if that's proper English, but anyways. So that's the Smitten Linen. So we have it here on the single ply, so I don't know if you'll be able to see that very well. Yeah, single ply here, you can see that linen running through, and it's really more obvious on those dark parts. See how gorgeous that is if it wants to focus. Yeah, you can see it running through here, but really just as equally beautiful on this base as well. Takes the dye just a little bit lighter due to the linen content and the fact that it's a little bit single ply, but at the same time it's like it takes it, it's not necessarily that it takes it less saturated, is that it's more spread out, like it's less likely to grab onto the yarn straight away, even though it's super wash, and it moves a little bit more around, very lightly though, not too much, but it gives it a beautiful looking finish. And you can see it, come on. Okay, well, we'll move on from this, but what I mean is you can see it here, how the green have melted on top of the apricot, and here as well. Yeah, anyway, it's a very fun color. Yeah, so Smitten Linen here. Look at this bright aqua and green up there, just so fun. Okay, I have it here on, and that's my favorite. As I said, I've got a crush on that base, but also I just think it looks amazing with this color. And on the sparkle sock, would you look at that? Yes, this is what I'm about. I absolutely adore, like the sparkle running through the yarn makes it look so just so goddamn precious, honestly. Yeah, it's really just a big crush personally for me. Yeah, I don't know, let me know in the comment what's your favorite base of mine, if you bought from me before, or in general from experience, from what you like to knit with. Yeah, what do you look the most forward to, and colorways as well. It would be really cool to hear more feedback on this, because it then helps me bring back what you'd like for the next update. Otherwise I'll just go with my own kind of instinct, but if I get demand for something specific, I definitely take it into account to try and bring it back. So there it is. I think I've only got 4 of each for this color, so yeah. Okay, going really well with it. We have Coral Vibe next. So Coral Vibe is a color I've been doing for at least a year plus now. It's one of my classic semi-solid. I personally really like it. So I think this is the 8 ply version. It's always very difficult to show this color on the camera because of how glowy it is. You can see even the reflection of the glow on my hand. Like it is just, you can see that. Look at that, this is crazy. Like it's a light. But yeah, so super glowy color. Yeah, even if I bring it close to my skin, you won't be able to really tell. Yeah, it's just hard to capture, but it's still like really cool. So on the 8 ply DK here is Coral Vibe. Come on, I really have to come close, and there we go. This is more adequate color. Yeah, and was it? No, actually I think that was actually the 4 ply. Sorry, yeah, that was the 4 ply. So Bliss Wild, and here is the DK one. It's a really fun, vibrant color, and it goes super well with Reef, as you can see, because they have that same coral running through. Actually, last month for my last update, I had sock kits. I did not film a flash de yarn that month because it was pretty much Christmas time. I had my update on the 27th of December, so just bang on between Christmas and New Year's. So I just honestly didn't have the time, and I just did a quick live on my phone, but the quality was horrendous. It really didn't help display anything, so never again. But anyways, I did have a sock kit where the main color was Reef, and there was a mini that was coral vibe on the side for heel flap and gusset. And yeah, it was, I mean all of the sock kit flew out the door really quickly, but I'm pretty sure this one was on the first one to go. They just pair really funly together, so that's one recommendation here if you want to pair stuff together. I will bring more sock kits back, not this month. I just had to order it from overseas first, but I'm working on it. I'm hoping February, so next month I should be able to bring more for you. Okay, so that was those two, that color, sorry, in these two. Just get organized real quick. Okay, so I have it now on Smitten Linen. Yeah, it's just, as I say, like just really glowy and a fun color. Actually, this is dyed with Dharma acid dyes and a mix of cocktail of them, and I'm pretty sure, actually I know that for a fact because it happened to me, they glow under UV black light. So I've got a top that's knitted with just this color, and I've got one that's knitted with my Citron colorway, which is just a bright floral lemon but quite light on the highlighter yellow, but quite light, like almost pastel. And I wore the Citron top to gig, and yeah, I was just glowing, and I had no idea, like I didn't even know they were UV reactive dyes until now, even though I've been dyeing with them for so long, and I just had no idea. But anyways, UV reactive dyes, so that's an extra plus fun for you if you like to go in the club and all that kind of stuff. But then this is the color for you. It'll glow, girl, it'll glow. Okay, and here on Sparkle Sack, equally as fun on this base. Yeah. And I have this color on so my fancy 8-ply linen silk baby alpaca is called Swanky Linen, Swanky DK, I think. And I have this color on there. I was really curious to see, because I'm still experiencing with this base. Baby alpaca is hard to dye in general for me. From my experience, it doesn't grab the dye as saturated as other colors, neither does silk, and linen doesn't grab anything at all, and it's still 25% of this base. So I was really curious to see if I was able to actually get that much vibrancy in this base, and somehow I managed. Like it worked. So hard to show you, but it did work, and it actually is probably on this color is probably my favorite on this base. I just think it's awesome. It goes with my lips. Yeah, again, hard to see, but just really nice, because there is I'll try and show you, but there is the linen running through, which gives it like a little contrasty, very light, like yellowy beige thread. I don't know, it's just everything. This is just everything. And I loved it so much because I've only got 2 of that color on the other base, but I do have 4 on this base because I just thought it was really cool. So I might as well bring 4 if either someone wants to snatch it all for sweater quantity, or yeah, I don't know, I just think it's great. I'm knitting with this base at the moment, a little top, and it's like a wee cropped dip t-shirt, and yeah, I think I'm only starting the second skeins, and I'm midway done with the back. I finished the front, and then I've got short sleeves to do, so it really doesn't use more than, like, I'd say a skein and a half for like a wee crop top. So yeah, I'd say if you buy 2 skeins, you could be safe to do something pretty fun with that. Cool, so that's it. Following this, I have a colorway which is kind of new. Like I've dyed it before, but it was for a friend, and I've never actually, I think, released it to the shop before, and I've only dyed it on the Swanky linen. The reason being is that the Swanky DK linen, as I said before, I'm still experiencing with that base. I'm not necessarily sure how it's gonna grab the dye and what colorway will work with it, or what will look actually not good enough, and that I might as well just stick to semi-solid with them. And so I just wanted to do another 4 skeins on a semi-solid, and I decided to go with Lunaè. So I call it Luna, but it's spelled Lunaè, and it's to me the perfect mousy grey. It's a very light blue mousy grey. Like it's got blue hues underneath, but it's grey. And it's almost showing more grey on the camera than it is. It's a little bit tingy more blue in real life, and yeah, I just really like it. So this is the only, like Luna, this is the only base that this colorway is gonna be on for this month anyway, but there is 4 of them on this color, so quite fun. Just to show you in comparison here with this one. I also have another skein. I've got a couple skeins I think left in the shop of Starlight, which is another grey colorway that I dyed on this base last month, so that could go well with it as well if you wanted to look for pairing. But yeah, so Luna here just on the Swanky DK, 4 available of this one. Next, I've got another new colorway for you guys, and this one I'm pretty excited about actually. I did it last minute. I just wanted to do another new one, and yeah, I had this vision for color, and I just went for it really quickly, and I just really liked the results. So, and I think you guys did too, so I kind of went with it. So the next one is called just Peachy, and the idea was that I wanted to create something that would almost fade from Reef. So it is this. It's super fun little summery pastel. We're still in summer here in New Zealand, so definitely keen for these colors. So it's kind of like almost like a peachy skin tone underlay, and then it's got really fun different kind of blue speckles, bright pink, fluoro green. Yeah. For this one I wanted the speckles to bleed a lot and spread, so they're less fine speckles and more kind of messy speckles, but I just really like how it turned out. Yeah, so I've done a little bit of that, and I think it does pair nicely with Reef. Probably not as much as I would have expected, but I still think it's a really fun combo. As you can see here, it's the same apricot here and underneath, so totally, yeah, it does pair. That's actually the first time I put them together. I just figured. No, it pairs pretty well. That's the same color I used in both, but in obviously different amounts. As you can see here, there is in Reef little bright green spot, if you can find them, which is the same as this, the same blue, and there is bright purple spots in Reef as well. Same thing if you can find them, which the same that then bled into those pink spots here. But yeah, so Bliss Wild, just Peachy here. Pretty sure I've got 4 skeins of each on each base for this one. Here it's on the Merino Superwash 8 ply Wild DK. Yeah. So yeah, it's just a very fun summer color. I think you could do a lot of different things with that, to be honest. Yeah. Following that, I have it on Smitten Linen. So I initially dyed the Bliss DK, sorry, the Bliss Wild and the Wild DK, and I think I actually put less speckle on these colors than on the batch that I did with Smitten Linen and Sparkle Sock. In future, I probably will stick with more speckles. So this is actually a bit more speckly than those last 2, and yeah, I actually like it more like this. I like it more with more speckles. I don't know, it's kind of a, I always want more speckles. I don't know about you. There is a balance to it. I do like a colorway that has little speckles as well, definitely. However, I just find this to be so much fun. Yeah, so that's on the Smitten Linen. Hold on, my camera's gonna cut. Sorry you guys, it only lets me record for like, I don't know, a certain amount of time and never really tells me when. But yeah, So that's the Smitten Linen one. And Sparkle Sock. Really fun, just really fun color. Yeah, as you can see, it's like almost skin tone pretty much. More on the pink obviously than the yellow, but yeah, it's pretty cute. This is it. It's like a cute color, isn't it? Like, yeah, I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Let's just compare, because I wanna compare Reef and just Peachy on Sparkle Sock. Fun. Yeah, no, that's quite good together. It's actually a bit like the camera's a bit light right now, but yeah, it looks really nice. And if you want, you could even add some pop and have like a beautiful three color, I don't know, stranded color work sweater or whatever else with that if you wanted. I always say sweater and tops because that's what I do the most, so I kind of picture everything in terms of that. But yay, cute. So that's it. Next I've got Dance Party. It's a classic, it's back. I don't have a ton of stock, I've only got a couple for each color, for each base, sorry, for this one, but yeah, you know, I still brought it back. I had a lot of people, like I had a lovely lady knitting a pair of mermaid sock in sorry, Australia with this color, and yeah, she received a lot of comments from people asking where this yarn was from, and there was a lot of hype, so I just thought, hey, you know what, I might as well just bring some this month in case you guys want to. So that's the Wild DK base, lots of black fine speckles, and just this fun confetti mix of colors. Depending on the batch, Dance Party, this corally part can run more orange, which is the case this time. Sometimes it's a little bit closer than the coral vibe color, but yeah, sorry, it depends on the batch. And yeah, this one came out a little bit more on the orange side. Whoop, I've got it here on the Bliss 4-ply, Bliss Wild it's called. Yeah, nothing massively new about this color, you guys have seen it before. It's still always really fun to show. Yeah, this is for comparison just Peachy and Dance Party next to one another, so similar but not the same. Would be really fun paired together though. Yeah, I would vibe that. I think that would be cool. Yeah. And then we have it on Smitten Linen. I really like actually this color on Smitten Linen. I think I kept a skein for myself when I brought it last time, which was not last month but the month before, I think. Yeah, I just think it's really fun on linen. So yeah, I have one of them and I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I did keep one for myself. Ooh. So I think I've got 4 of each for this color as well. And here's on Sparkle Sock. This one sold out like super instantly last time. So yeah, I brought it back. Honestly, like, sorry, but look at how it grabs the dye. It's incredible. I just don't, yeah, I just love this base so much. There's also like a bit of a difference in color. It's so subtle, you probably wouldn't be able to tell unless you were next to one of them, but between the Smitten Linen and the Sparkle Sock, yeah, you wouldn't be able to tell, but the difference being that naturally those bases are different colors. So this comes in like a really white color, almost tingy gray, like white, like pulling onto a light gray, whilst this is pulling onto a yellow kind of color due to probably the linen content in there. So yeah, fun. Okay, just saying also, these are always really fun to pair together, which is the Dance Party and the coral vibe. So yeah, this is a really really good combo there. Next Next I've got Milkshake, which is another pastel color. We're all about the pink again this month and the blues. That's kind of my jam. I do a lot of them. Yeah, let me just show it to you. Boop. Milkshake is a classic. It's my blush pink color. It's just a perfect yeah, blushy gray semi-solid. I just like to bring this one back because it's quite popular. It goes with a lot of things. It's really easy to pair with things, and I always like to have a couple of semi-solid in my collection. So here, both on the 4-ply and the 8-ply, as you can see, different batches, so a little bit lighter for this one, but barely really. Yeah, and Smitten Linen. This is next to my skin, so you can tell the color. And on Sparkle Sock. Yeah. So I think, I can't remember how much I have for this one. I think I might have only a couple of each. But I do have it on Swanky DK as well. And I've got 4 on that color. On that base. This one turns out to be, obviously, due to, as I said, like the content of the yarn, a little bit of a different color, so less pinky, more blushy, more light, but it's just super cute. So like for comparison, as you can see between the two, there's a little bit of a difference in saturation there, but this is really nice. And here, this is the 3 in the center, so you can kind of have an idea of how they play together. Those two would be super nice paired together. I mean, they would kind of all be, to be honest. Like, it would work really well like this as well. Yeah. Okay, next is a new colorway again. And this one is called Void, and that's the first color that I posted in my Instagram, and you guys went a bit crazy. Like, everyone seemed to really like it, and were like, can we have pre-orders on it, can we do blah blah blah. So I decided to dye more than I was initially going to dye for that color, so I've got loads of it. I think I've got about 10 for each base, which is the max I could have done for now anyways. But I said that I would see how it goes in terms of selling out, and if it sells out on every base, then I will consider putting a pre-order slot for this colorway, and see, you know, on a few bays, and you guys can probably order more. I don't really want anyone to miss out, so yeah, if by popular demand this you know, you guys want more, than I mean, I will always bring it back in a different update, but if you want more like Neil, then I might be able to bring like a pre-order slot. But anyways, so without further ado, here is Void on 4-ply merino superwash. Yeah, so Void was a color that I had like 2+ years ago when I first started, and it was a very dark aubergine, and it had underlays of like a ballerina pink, almost like the Milkshake pink, and like more of a delphinium blue, like a blue that was like kind of like the mousy grey but more blue. But then I didn't dye this one anymore. I didn't feel it anymore, so I decided to go with this name for this color because it had pretty much the same vibe, but it's different. So now you've got this kind of fuchsia, like light purple, so it's like mauve purple, but it'll run light pink at times, and then it's topped up with some teal speckles and some blue pour, and then there's a big black coat overlay on top of it. So the inspiration came from, again, the sock minis that I did 2 months ago. I had my colorway Furcifer Powderless, which is a light blue color with a lot of speckles and a lot of black speckles in it, and as a mini I had something similar to this next to it, and I really loved it. I just loved, it was mainly black. It was more black than this. You could barely see the purple and the blues coming from underneath, but you'd still have everything covered in black, and I kind of wanted to recreate the same thing, but then I wanted to have a little bit more color popping out, so I did this instead. And yeah, So as I said, I've got about 10 of each, so you can go for gold. Here on the 8 ply merino. Yeah. I have it on the Smitten Linen. I really like it on this base. I think it's actually my favorite on that base, just due to the linen content, being dye resisting the dye, and I just love how it turns out, to be honest. Yeah, it just looks really cool to me. And then Sparkle Sock. More vibrant always on this base. It's like the most vibrant base pretty much. Yeah, it absorbs the dye like a dream. Just really cool. You can see the wee speckles there. But yeah, so loads of this one. And I did dye it on the Swanky DK. I wasn't sure how that was gonna come out due to the content of that wool, and it came out way different, but I still really like it. So the black is not black, it's gray. The purple is very light, but it still looks pretty awesome, to be honest. Like, I just really like it. So there's 4 of that one only, because that was kind of an experiment. I wasn't sure I was gonna go with it. But yeah, no, I do like it. So there's 4 of the Swing Kitty Kit. That's the least one. It looks pretty awesome to me. So subtle, do you know what I mean? Like, it's still kind of on the darker side, but it's real subtle change compared to the other one. For comparison, here is the normal DK, so you can see the vibrancy difference, which was totally to be expected, by the way. But it's like, yeah, it's a lot less vibrant on the purple side as well, and a lot more gray. This is too white saturated here, but yeah, you see what I mean anyways. So following this, we have I'm restocking Tusk, which is a favorite. It's been here for a few months now, and I've been restocking it regularly just because it's so easy to use. I mean, it's a beautiful cream colorway with a mix of speckles here on the Bliss Wild. It's just super, like, I love it, and it sells really easily. I can imagine. I personally have it stashed for myself for several projects as well, just because, I don't know, although I love to dye the fun colors, I knit with them less than I do with more neutral, and this to me is one of the perfect neutral. It's got that creamy white, it's got, yeah, so heathery kind of stuff. It's got tiny little speckles of yellow flecks, as you can see here, but as well as this mix of deep blue purple speckles, green, peach. Yeah, so this is how it looks. Just love this color always, and will always restock that quite often, not necessarily every month, but yeah, I just definitely will stay a staple in the shop. So Tusk here on Bliss Wild, and here on Wild DK. I have it on Smitten Linen, which I am knitting with at the moment in a project which I'll be able to show you next week in the podcast episode. I just really love it on this base as well. I just think it's I don't know, it's just really nice to knit with, to be honest. It's really soft. It's really, yeah, I just love knitting with that. I love single plies. I've always loved single ply, and I was so excited to be able to bring 100% merino superwash single ply, which is my base, called Merveille, a few months back after being able to afford bringing overseas yarn. However, for summer, instead of stocking Merveille, I decided to stock Smitten Linen instead, and add a little bit of linen content for drape, and yeah, it's the perfect summer base. So I'll probably switch back eventually to Merveille to bring some of that, but instead of bringing both, just having this one for now. I have it on Sparkle Sock, same thing. I actually got that stash for myself as well, for a specific project I have in mind with it. I just think it's too much fun to pass, to be honest. It's just so easy to cast on. Like I can totally picture any kind of quick knit, the one the kind of you don't want to think about, and you want to just keep on knitting. But also cable knitting with this would be great. You know how cables, you can't really use super vibrant and crazy colorways, just because then you kind of lose the visual of the cable, and you kind of almost want to stick to clear white yarn to be able to see the pattern, and you would totally be able to do that with that, yet have still the fun of the speckle that brings that hand dyed and colorful touch to it. So that's actually what I have mine stashed for. It's for a specific cable sweater, and I can't wait to try it, but I think it's still in the testing at the moment. Sorry, it's still in the writing, and I'm hoping to be one of the testers for it, so yay. And I have it on Swanky Decay as well. Again, it was a trial because as I explained before, the speckles are never going to come out the same on a base like this, but due to the nature of the dyes that I was using for this, I was a bit more confident that they might be able to actually still be speckles, and there is. They totally bleed compared to other ones, but this is part of the charm, and this is what makes it so cool. So I actually really like how it came out, and I've got 4 of each coming this month and 4 of this one as well. This is super pretty on this base. Yeah, so I don't know why I keep only showing this base, but I just love it. So I'll show you just for indication purposes like I did before. Up. So you can kind of see, maybe you can see, maybe you can't at all, the difference in color between all of them. You can see a lot more of the blue now that I put this one next to this, which is Duty's ivory color, pulling on the slight tusky yellow vibe, so you can see how much more bluey gray that is here. Okay, and last but not least, I am restocking another of you guys' favorite, and it is SJW. SJW came out months ago when there was a lot of drama in the knitting community, and yeah, it's all tied in with human rights and marginalized society, and the good and the bad guys, pretty much. And pretty much SJW, if you didn't know, stands for Social Justice Warrior, which has really was initially a positive term, because it was used to, you know, qualify people that would actually stand up on social media and call out bullshit when they saw it, in terms of human rights and equality for pretty much anyone, and it really ended up getting this bad rap and this bad reputation of a name, and became this, yeah, this almost insult of like, if anyone just kind of tells you off, you almost turn into a Karen of a thing, you know what I mean? And I just really hate that. I hate that the idea that you would stand up for the marginalized and make your opinion loud and clear to try and cancel that rubbish from the world would turn into something negative. I just really hated that. So in honor of wanting to bring it back into a positive light, I decided to do a colorway about it at the time, which obviously was popular amongst anyone that aligns with this way of thinking, and yeah, it's yeah, so I've restocked it this month. So yeah, big rains, but anyways, it's back. So I will show it to you. It's really bold, it's really colorful, it's very unapologetic. I like it a lot, and here it is. So SJW is yeah, it's got very vibrant dark blues, some super bright coral, pop all throughout. Sometimes it runs a bit more pink than white, because it's supposed to have white still, which it does, but sometimes, especially on this Bliss Wild batch, it ended up, even the white ended up having a very light tinge of pink. And then you've got a ton of speckles in there, hidden under the different layers. But yeah, it's just a fun colorway, and it's similar to Reef in the way it's dyed, so it most likely will be stripy as well. Here on Wild Decay. Yeah. And it's funny, every time I put a photo of that colorway or put a post about it, which is not that often because I haven't actually stocked it for a couple months or 2 or 3 months now, I always have people coming on my page and trying to bait me with it. People that follow, I don't know, people that belong into the other group of people, that the ones that just want to knit and not want to talk about politics and social issue. And if I wanted politics, I'd be in a politic group, and you know, I just want to know about your wool and I just want to buy your wool. And you know, anyways, they try to bait me. They come and they ask questions about if I would source it on a skeins base, which I obviously don't anymore, and I respond politely to them, and then they kind of get triggered from no reason and they start becoming very rude, and then I can't help myself but to tell them to just F off. Like, I'm sorry, but honestly, I got no time for this shit. Like, I don't care if you don't like my wool. Like, I'm not here to please you, I'm just here to do me, bro. So yeah, if you like it, that's good on you, you know, and if you don't, you can just move along. Especially if you don't align with my way of thinking, you're not welcome. And I'm sorry if that offends a few people. As I said before, it might say a little bit more about you than it does about me, because you should be able to understand that the ethics of a business are as important as that business. I mean, literally, it's tied in together. And anyways, I'm not going to keep ranting about this because I've done it before, but all to say that don't come at me to tell me that I should just sell the wool without giving you, you know what I mean? If you ask me a question about my ethics, I'm going to respond honestly, and I've got an FAQ on my website about it. If you're not happy with that, I don't know what to tell you. Just go with the other. There's plenty of other indie dyers. There's plenty others that are not speaking up about this kind of things. You can just go with them. Make sense? All right, let's move along. So on Smitten Linen, ooh, isn't it so pretty? I love it. Okay, it's just so cool on this base as well. The deep blue, the coral, the speckles, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I just totally love this. You can do so much stuff with this. I have a friend of mine that ordered a sweater quantity from me, and she made a really beautiful crochet blanket for a very special baby out of this, and it's going to be a baby boy. But I love that it could have been a baby girl as well, because, well, I mean, not that colors should have any gender, but you know how some people still think that way. And you know, I just love that this is just gender neutral, and I believe all my colors are, but I just love that you really just could have this for any gender, and you couldn't have an old lady coming to you trying to judge the sex of your newborn baby based on the color they wear, if you have something like this, because there's every color in there. So yeah, I love it. Do you? Let me know. So I think I got 4 of each for this color, and on Sparkle Sock here. Yeah, it's equally as cool. This one sold really quickly last time. It's a popular one. I only have 4 of them. I will bring it back, although I have totally run out of that deep dye blue color, and I don't know how confident I am about recreating that dye with my other dyes at this stage, so I do want to order more of it. Which is why I haven't stocked more of that, and some of my colors might not be coming back in the shop for, I don't know, probably not that long, probably just a month or something before I can stock that navy deep blue again. It's actually a cocktail of colors, but there's a main ingredient in there that I have run out of. So yeah, so actually I put 2 in there so you can see a couple of them together. That's it. We are all done here. Hold on. Okay, so I want to thank you for being here, for joining me once again. If you've been watching this whole episode up to now, you're a champion. Thank you so much. And yeah, I'm gonna very briefly, which I like to do, show some pairing that you can do with the yarn now that it's all like in a pile here. So SJW coral vibe, yes, totally a yes. Just those fluoro. If you know my style of dyeing, I very often incorporate neon touches, and very often they are coral ones, so you can easily mix and match colors. This is all on linen, and add some dance party if you wish. That all works together quite well. You can, let's see, just Reef. I don't think Reef and SJW, because they're both very extreme and they both have different color scheme. I don't know if they would mix together like, but you can see they have a similar method of dyeing though. So just for show, still on the linen here. I still think that if you paired them, say in a 3-color sweater, with say, so you'd have like a main running color, like I would do for example Tusk as the main color, and then you'd have 2 contrasting, low contrasting colors. So these would be low contrasting. You'd have, if you want to have like a design and marl it, like, so that's one of my favorite thing to do, is to have like a 3-color stranded color work, and in the yoke, say where it's all patterned, to have it with such colorful and contrasting but low contrasting colors that you can't really tell exactly the drawing of the pattern. I actually love that. So I would totally just use like these 2, say, and you could even have Void as the main color there. Look how cool that would be. Yeah, so that would work really well. Void is really easy to pair with a bunch of other colors, so like as I just showed with Dance Party goes well. To be honest, it kind of goes well with all of them because they all have a little bit of that mauve in there. It's totally, I put a photo of that on my website. It's totally perfect with Tusk due to those purple speckles in Tusk that I pretty much bang on in there. So that is a hot combo. Really love this one. I am knitting a Red Moon sweater with Tusk and another color at the moment, but as I said in my post, I would totally recommend this kind of color work combo. What else? You could. Here's Sparkle Sock. You could do Milkshake and SJW. That's a good one. That you know, you tone it down a little bit, but you still have those pinks to match it together. So that would work quite well. Dance Party, just Peachy, as I showed before. You can just stick to your pastels if you wanted. Again here just on linen, but let me show you. Yeah, and then you could add even again Tusk if you, so you just like in the white slash neon slash pastel colors, and you've got like differences, subtle ones. It's so hard to hold all together. I'm gonna try, hold on. Right, this, I can't even do it. I'll show you all these 3 instead. So we'll just leave Tusk alone, but just to show you these 3 together. Yeah, I haven't put many photos just yet, simply because I'm waiting for the weather to be more cloudy. The sun really out, not helping display and cast the right color. But oh my god, I'm so mood about this. This is great. This is pretty good. But yeah, so totally just either these 2 together or even these 2 together. So you could even do like, say, Tusk. From Tusk go to just Peachy, go to Milkshake, and then you could incorporate something like Reef behind, or the SJW, depending how much of a fade you want or whatever. But they all kind of pair nicely. I would pair this beautiful Reef, as I said, on Sparkle Sock. I would totally pair it with Coral Vibe. I just think, yeah, that's a match made in heaven for me. But you could totally just also pair it with Void. I think that works quite nicely too, even though it's not exactly the same colors. They're both playing in that dark scheme, and there is totally the same kind of purpley and blues in Reef as well, like here, if you can see that. Yeah, so that works as well. Yeah, and totally, so like as I said, like just Peachy and Reef were like here on different base, but they are kind of meant to fade together, so that would totally be an option for you if you wanted as well. And that's kind of it. Like, I think that's kind of it. Listen, if you have any request that you want to see a specific base, specific color mixed with another one, just holler at me, man. Like, put a comment in the comment box or Instagram or message me or whatever. I'm pretty good at responding, and I'll totally take a picture for you and show you how they play together, and that way you know what to pair. So really, no hesitation there, guys. Feel free to message me if you want to see anything a little bit closer. Shush. Okay, that's it for now anyways. Yay, I'm very happy to have been here with you again, and I will see you next week for a new episode of the Knitting Podcast. Until then, I hope to see you on Sunday at the update. Thank you so much, and yeah, have a great weekend. Have a great, I don't know, 2021 hopefully.